Hi there, welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbao. Tonight, anti-corruption campaigner Adam Senanu has urged authorities to investigate and potentially prosecute individuals found culpable in the Ghana Football Association's Bus Scandal. Joy Sports investigation revealed that the GFA, through its Bus initiative for Division 1 and Women's Premier League clubs, awarded a 5.1 million cedis deal to the association's chief of staff, Michael Osekere, in a clear conflict of interest. In November, GFA President Kerto Kreku handed over 9 buses to Division 1 clubs to ease their transportation challenges. However, the former chairman of the Ghana League Club Association, J.Y. Apia, described the vehicles as a 16-year-old death traps. The buses remain unregistered and some clubs have been asked to return them. Each bus reportedly cost over 500,000 Ghana cedis, an amount deemed excessive for vehicles that are currently immobile. Speaking on News Night on Joy FM, Senanu stressed that the procurement process should have followed a competitive bidding and the whole initiative smells of fraud, and quick investigation and prosecution of individuals found culpable ought to be done.
Well, that spells fraud, and that's what we call corruption. I mean, when you've been entrusted with responsibility, and clearly there have been some efforts to manipulate the process to the advantage of yourself or people around you, because if something you have reported or misreported or underreported the actual age, and yet attributed a certain cost to it whose value it does not have. And there's also a process administratively which says that when something exceeds a certain ceiling, it should be open tender, and that was not followed. That just all smacks of fraud and intentionality to the extent of trying to take advantage of the system. And if the facts are available, that's when you ought to report so that the investigative agencies take over. And persons must be found culpable because it's an attempt to defraud the state of resources that are already unavailable to us for many things that we need to do.
I mean, the GFA itself is not a one-man show. It's a body that the government of Ghana has interest in. How do you, from a standpoint of an anti-corruption campaigner, expect the government to act in this particular development?
Well, the wheels of justice must take their course. I mean, immediately, if the facts are available, the anti-graft agencies whose mandate under which this will easily fall should be apprised of the facts so that they can take on board and begin the investigation and put the necessary people before the necessary courts. One thing I think we need in this country is fast-track anti-corruption courts. I was recently in Kenya. They have about 13 anti-corruption courts, specialized courts, so that cases like this don't just stand and, after everybody just says, oh, nothing will come out of it. We need to be more intentional of making it difficult for persons in positions of trust to take advantage of the trust we've imposed in them and dupe all of us. So I think government should just act, transfer whatever it is to the right agency, request, as they would normally do, specific agencies to take up the matter. But above that, I think we also need to work with the judiciary to establish specialized anti-corruption courts that can speedily deal with these kinds of issues. So set the right kinds of precedent. Then persons so minded will not dare because they know the risk involved and that there will be a speedy trial if they are arrested.
Now, on March 13, Joy Sports will host the first of many series, the Joy Sports National Dialogue Thought Leadership Program aimed at shaping the future of Ghana sports. Now, the event, which is scheduled for Thursday on the 13th of March, just about next week from now, will across the English-speaking platforms on Joy Prime, on Joy News, and Joy FM. The event will focus on governance, funding, and infrastructure, bringing together experts to provide insight and solutions. Now, Joy Sports, Nathaniel Atto is the head of Thought Leadership, and he joins me via Zoom for some more details on this upcoming event, which is intended to help shape the future of Ghana sports. Atanato, thank you very much for making time. It's a big event just about a week from now. Help us appreciate why the need for this event, especially, we know the challenges that has bedeviled Ghana sports and all of that. What do we intend to achieve with this event?
Thank you. Now, you do remember, we all do remember that in December, we went through a very important process, which was the electioneering process. And that resulted in the voting in of a new government. Now, this new government had an agenda. They have had various, policy documents for various sectors. The sports sector was not left out. Now, we do remember as well that some weeks ago, when His Excellency the President swore in a set of ministers, the Minister for Sport and Recreation included, said categorically that he knows the state of the industry, that he knows that it's in shambles. And because of that, he also is looking at having him repaired. He also mentioned that he would want the minister to spread the resources across as much as possible so that all other disciplines will get them. And then he mentioned that some of the disciplines will need a massive cleanup. And one of the first places to begin at will be the Ghana FA. As fate would have it, or as results, or as events would have it, I beg your pardon, as events would have it, just yesterday, in the last 24 hours, look at what has happened. So clearly, there is a need to discuss issues of governance. There's a need to discuss issues of structure within our governing bodies. And also, it is important that we position ourselves in such a way that we are towing a certain line that will help us to achieve this agenda that the president has set. When that happens, it helps everybody. So we're bringing experts together. A senior lecturer at the University of Health and Allied Sciences will be one of our speakers. He will be covering the area of governance. The international sports consultant, Magnus Rex Dankwa, will be tackling the area of infrastructure because he's expert. He's got expert knowledge when it comes to that. And then also would look at other areas. We'll look at funding as well. And we'll be taking the views and the expert knowledge of Tom Vernon. Tom Vernon is the group head or the group CEO of Right to Dream. We do remember that Right to Dream has a very big portfolio of having the biggest sports academy, football academy in the country. They've gone ahead to produce so many names and faces. Flagship name now is Kudus Mohammed of West Ham and the Black Stars. And so he has an idea what it means to draw great funding. Remember that he's grown an enterprise that is has a value of in excess of 200 million euros. So he knows what to do, and he has the kind of template that we require, especially considering that he has worked in this terrain and understands very well the demands of this terrain. So we're going to have a very fruitful conversation. We'll have a limited studio audience in the Joy Prime studio, which will have some sporting heads, some association heads, and some former administrators as well, and others who have vast knowledge in this area and can help with their thoughts so that we can have a meaningful document that we can present to the Youth and Sports Ministry so it can help them in the bid to want to straighten up what looks like a sector that really needs a lot of help. So the events of the past few days even give us bigger reason to hold this event, and it's coming at a very, very key time and a very opportune time.
Now, we appreciate your time, and I'm sure we're building up to it, just about a week or so to the event on March 13th on Thursday, and Atana, of course, leading the, organization of the event, and you could see his research in Ghana sports. Now, it's just finally, though, before you go, we've got about a week to the event. Any, activities lined up ahead of the event?
Very well. So ahead of the event, we will have some key, statements made. We're going to be reaching some of our key persons within the industry to tell us what they look forward to in terms of the deliberations and the direction of the conversations that will happen. Remember that at Joy Sports, we always like to use the scientific approach, and that was brought to bear very heavily when we took up the project to understand what filling the GPL stands will mean once again. We used a very scientific approach, and we got down to the ground, and we were able to have an on-ground understanding of why the fans were staying away from our Ghana Premier League games. And so in the same way, we want to use a scientific approach. And because of that, we are going to draw the views of all persons who are involved in this big picture. And when I say all persons, I'm talking about the athletes, I'm talking about the administrators, I'm talking about the technical persons as well. And all those who are involved one way or the other in this very big value chain that we call Ghana Sports. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be hearing quite a lot in terms of promoting the event and also drawing the attention of the worldwide audience, because remember that putting them on all these platforms will mean that we're appealing to a global audience. And everybody becomes interested in Ghana sport because of our pedigree, our appearances at major international tournaments, and the kind of history we've been able to write.
Now, thank you very much. We appreciate you there. So, well, just away from that, though, Decathlon Ghana has renewed their relationship with the Ghana Football Association after signing a new long-term deal. The signing did take place earlier today, and George Lawrence Beidou was there, and he came through with this report.
The sports retail shop, following the expiration of their first contract with the Ghana FA, have decided to continue the partnership. Decathlon Ghana had initially signed a 4-year deal to partner the GFA for the sale of all Black Stars paraphernalia and other merchandising products. The new partnership deal will see the company continue their relationship with the country's highest football governing body for the next 4 years. President of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Okweku, commended Decathlon for the decision to maintain their partnership.
I'm extremely happy that 4 years down the line, we are here again to renew such an amazing relationship. If I can find the right words to say thank you, I'm sure that word will come from France. Unfortunately, I can't speak French, but I can speak a bit of Dutch. So I can say Dankeschön for believing not only in my leadership, but also the leadership of the Football Association, and most importantly, for believing in the vision of giving back to people who ordinarily may not have that kind of support. For me, that is so, so important. People think that footballs can be found anywhere, but footballs cannot be found everywhere. Football boots cannot be found everywhere. Football whistles cannot be found everywhere. If it could be found, you wouldn't see young kids playing on grassless pitches without a referee in the middle. That's how important your contribution to Ghana sports and Ghana football is.
Speaking at the event, a representative from Decathlon France says he is hopeful the collaboration will continue to strengthen and help develop football in the country.
This partnership reinforced strongly our commitment to that goal. Thank you, Geoffrey, for sharing this mission and vision with Decathlon. We hope that this agreement will continue being a fruitful and long-lasting collaboration, which will further boost the development of football in Ghana and in Africa, and open up new opportunities for all those who are passionate about this beautiful sport. Thank you and congrats to everyone.
The event for the extension of the partnership took place at the Decathlon Ghana shop at the Accra Mall.
Now let's do some tennis, and the Whitray 2025 edition of the Whitray Junior Open Tennis Championship is set to take place, starting tomorrow at the Accra Sports Stadium. It's expected to draw many young tennis enthusiasts to take part in that event, which is intended to develop the interest of most young people in tennis across the country. Well, joining me in studio is one of the organizer of the event, Mr. Abiodun, and you need to help me with the full name because I was trying to remember it, and I struggled a bit. What was the full name?
Abiodun Orimoloye.
Okay, Orimoyole.
Orimoloye.
Moyole. All right, well, you got to pardon me because it's the first time I'm hearing it. It's the first time I'm hearing it. But I'm sure it's not the first time you are, putting together this event, you know, and it does appear that clearly you're somebody who has some passion for tennis. Talk to me briefly about your passion for tennis and how that has translated into you organizing this event.
Thank you so much. Tennis is a sport that I love so much, and I have 2 kids playing tennis also. One is 11 years old, and then the other one is 8 years old. So I'm a tennis fan. I've been watching tennis for almost 2 decades now, and so that's how I fell in love with the sport. So introduce my kids to the sport. So that's how
the journey has been. Well, let's talk about the event though, with Ray Junior Tennis Open, and this is the 2025 edition of it. How many years have you organized this?
Yes, this is the 3rd edition.
The 3rd edition of it.
Yes.
Amazing. And you know, we know it's starting tomorrow. The event is starting tomorrow at the Crash Sports Stadium, right? What is this event intended to do? What do you hope to achieve, you know, with this event? Because you know you have kids ranging from the age of what?
11 and 8.
11 and 8 participating. What do you intend to do with the event in the lives of these young kids?
The reason for the tournament is to fish out the talent, and you know, those players training every day than without tournament. So it's something that it baffles me a lot, because I also have a kids who also play too. So I have to take my kids outside to look for tournament for them. So I was like, no, if we can also, because in what way can we also assist the federation, because the federation are trying. So the way to help the federation is also to bring more tournaments. So that's the reason why we come up with this idea.
What about, you know, participation in the event? Who can participate? They have to register. Is registration closed? How can anybody who's watching, who has a kid who's interested in tennis, get to participate in the event?
Yeah, actually for this tournament, the registration is closed.
Okay.
Because, you know, there is something we try to bring this time around, that which is discipline. Because let me say African tennis, there's no discipline at all, because, you know, maybe the tournament will be held for almost 3 months before the tournament. People should at least have done their registration, but you know, people will have to wait on the last day, which is on the day of the tournament. And you now see that, okay, on that day, the kids will not be able to play any matches until the next day. So, the last time I was in UK, I saw the way their preparation towards the tournament. I was there in Spain, so I saw their preparation over there too. I was like, no, I needed to come here and apply those things, which means that we started the registration for almost about 3 months ago.
Wow.
So
as for now, it's closed.
Yes, it's closed.
Get to be part of it. Let's talk about the event itself. What's the nature of it? What's the format? You know, what's the format, the prize?
Yeah, actually, this year is different from the first and the second year.
Okay.
The reason why it's different from them is because this year is on UTL. So the meaning of UTL is like they are playing, as they are playing, they are getting points, and that point can also help them in future when it comes to maybe like in terms of going to college. So they can use those points to go to college. Okay. So it's a tournament whereby it will really assist the kids, comparing to maybe like we are just preparing just a local. This is not a local tournament this time around. Is international one whereby the kids need to gather points. And apart from that, there is also a prize money also. Then apart from prize money, there's also the medal, and so on and so forth.
Amazing, amazing. And I could tell that already the excitement is building up. The kids are excited. How many kids have you had registered now as at this time?
Sure, almost about 100 kids.
Over 100 kids. That's a lot. Yeah. You have a lot of work in your hand, you know, tomorrow. So it starts tomorrow through to the...
So on the 9th.
The 9th of
Sunday.
March.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. All right, well, for any of the kids who are participating in the event, who might be watching it, what would be your final message to them? You know, 100 kids, that's a lot. That's a lot. What would be your final message to them?
My final message to them is, you know, this is a big opportunity to show their talent. I just expect them to go out there, enjoy themselves, and respect each other. That's all.
Go out there, enjoy yourself, and respect each other. Well, interesting. We'll be looking forward to that event that will start tomorrow, and we'll bring you more updates on Prime Sports here over there. Well, and quite a lot more update from FIFA with, you know, halftime show scheduled to come in the 2026 World Cup, and also some $1 billion prize money that has been announced for the FIFA Club World Cup. We'll bring you more details on that in our subsequent bulletins. Thank you very much for being part of the show.